I must start by extending my heartfelt congratulations to you, Mr. Speaker, on your uncontested election and, of course, appointment as the Speaker of Parliament. And I hope that some of us who used to watch you discharging your duties from that chair when we're outsiders will have a very big lot to learn from you in the course of the term of the 10th Parliament. In the same vein, Mr. Speaker said, I must extend my heartfelt congratulations to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, and of course, a great African statesman, Dr. Mnangagwa, on his election as the President of the Republic on the 23rd of August 2023. I must say, Mr. Speaker, that even as I congratulate my fellow colleagues, fellow members, and accept my election onto this House, I do so appreciating very well that singularly, and as an individual, I didn't matter on my election, but I did not mean a very excellent track record of our leading light and our best to put forward President Mnangagwa's first illustrious term of office. We might not have made it if we had not done it. On this account, we were elected, and once again, I congratulate him for having us in here. Otherwise, as the saying goes, a good term deserves another. We have it. I must say, Mr. Speaker, said that long time ago as I grew up, I didn't for any single second think that one day I shall be a member of this House, not as a bystander or as a member of the gallery, without taking anything away from those in there, but as an honorable member of Parliament of the Republic of Mr. Speaker said, I want to say, rather commend the President on his speech delivered on the occasion of the opening of the 10th Parliament, the State of the Nation address. In his speech, the very first paragraph, the explanation of the general elections we had on 23 August 2023, and correctly and rightly qualified them as free, fair, and very credible. And not only that, but also probably the first general elections to not be contested after the results have been announced. It is a repeating feature of the Zimbabwean elections. At least going by the recent trends, you know, Mr. Speaker, that our colleagues from the opposition bench had never developed the habit of accepting electoral outcomes. But for the first time in 2023, they accepted, no wonder why there is no contestation of the outcome of the general elections of 2023 at any court of law. I want to acknowledge their maturity in doing so. The rest, of course, is Alabalo and basis of argumentations and battle. Of course, anyone is free to do that. We are a free democracy. We can say anything elsewhere. But in principle, the outcome of the general elections of 2023, which saw the election of President Mnangagwa and ourselves, are not contested at any. So we do not have at law a contested election in Zimbabwe for the first time. I must also say, Mr. Speaker, that in his speech, the President referenced and assured us that his government is going to deliver to the 35,000 villages of our nation boreholes to ameliorate water challenges. I must say, coming from Buhera West, Mr. Speaker, sir, you know very well that climatically and geographically, my constituency lies among those areas where water challenges are perennial because we don't receive good rainfall. In fact, our rainfall patterns are erratic. Mr. Speaker said, my constituency, as I'm speaking right now, I do so with a particular family without which, if I don't mention, I wouldn't have done it well. The Mviwi family, which has lost 7 members of the same family in the few weeks past, out of a pandemic of cholera, which has affected my constituency. I'm so happy and wish to commend that on its first sitting, the Cabinet acknowledged that reality and measures have been put in place and processes have begun to ensure that we are one of the first priorities in terms of receiving those boreholes. I want to commend the President in this particular. To have the leadership acknowledge that reality at his level shows exactly that we have a leader who is ready to govern to detail and ensure that he provides timely responses to challenges that we face. I would want to implore government departments responsible for dispersing those facilities to also act on agents the same way the President in this cabinet has acted in response to that reality. Mr. Speaker said, it won't be good for me as the MP, or for us and my colleagues, I'm sure they will speak for themselves, we have 4 colleagues from Guhela, to then have run-ins with government departments simply because they are failing to ensure that what the President has spoken is transformed into practical realities on the ground. I would want to say, Mr. Speaker, that we are counting the days, and if those facilities which have been deployed by the President as a relief to the challenges we are facing, if they continue to take long to deliver the boreholes, to deliver the facilities, I'm referring to government and the relevant government departments now, Mr. Speaker. We will seek to engage them through this House publicly, because I know that the leader we have also doesn't want to be betrayed by deliberate actions or failing to action things in time. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the President on his speech regarding the heritage-based education. It's a very emotional issue. The 5.0 education, Mr. Speaker said. Why do I say that? No one had given us a chance when the pandemic of COVID-19 confronted our nation and society. Everyone and some parliaments elsewhere, I'm sure the British Parliament in particular, had members speaking disparagingly about us as a nation, saying that if the pandemic knocks its doors on Zimbabwe, those people are going to die like cockroaches with no one to bury, because they will all be dying. The country's medical systems are dilapidated and everything is down. But through the stewardship of our caring President, powered by institutions of higher learning, which he had started transforming to institutions of higher learning, we started producing masks as a nation from our polytechnics and universities to ensure that our members of the public, our people, our nation were saved from COVID-19. We started producing sanitizers back here home in Zimbabwe, where other countries were importing. We went further through the innovative capabilities of our institutions of higher learning. Allow me to put institutions of higher learning to take from their innovative capacities to save our nation and our president. That is testament exactly of how much as a nation we must take seriously the heritage-based education in 5.0. In the same vein, speaking for my constituents, Mr. Speaker, I was listening very carefully yesterday when the Minister of Education was talking about sending children home on account of not having paid fees. He spoke eloquently that that should not take place. I stand in here, Mr. Speaker, to say when the President said that we must deepen and gender 5.0 education, you also mean exactly that our children must not be sent back home for failing to pay fees, because they don't pay fees. Who pays fees? Our parents. When they don't have, the nation must not suffer from the tragedy of children being sent back home by teachers and headmasters, because at the end of the day, it is the nation that loses, because we will not be able to benefit from their innovative capabilities, assuming they were supposed to go to tertiary institutions one day. I wish, Mr. Speaker, sir, that once again, this House assists the relevant government departments and ministries to ensure that these directives are interpreted correctly on the ground, so that there are no instances where some teachers or some headmasters are still sending children back home because they have not paid fees, or that some children are failing to sit for their examinations because they have not paid fees. We would have lost as a nation, because it doesn't mean that having no translate into having no capacity. The nation will stand to benefit from them one day. But knowing fully well that I'm now much more proud as a Zimbabwean. I'm not only a Zimbabwean, but I'm now a Zimbabwean who fully belongs to the nation of Zimbabwe, and we control everything. We are the only country from Cape to Cairo that has done everything to ensure that we complete the process of decolonization. The question of obsolete laws is coming against the background of a majestic giant decision of land reform, which the previous president and of course President Mnangagwa have championed. It was a process of decolonization. The renaming of our roads is a process of decolonization. The installation of the statue, which is not so far away from this house, was a process of decolonization. Now we are here to remove those colonial laws which have become irrelevant to an independent sovereign state. I'm so proud the other countries are not that brave to take those bold decisions. But I'm proud to be Zimbabwean where such decisions can be taken between Cape and Cairo. Mr. Speaker said, finally, I want to commend the President's speech on youth empowerment. I'm a young person, 36 years of age, and not so far away from my fellow young people who are still youth, that is those between 35 and below. The President in the same vein talked about the tragedy of drug abuse in our nation. I believe that if we heed the President's call to develop and pass legislation that transforms our society and develop our nation, we can ameliorate the problem, challenges of drug abuse in our nation, Mr. Speaker. We can transform our societies and transform our situations with ourselves from who we were and who we thought we were, who we thought we shall die as, vis-a-vis what we are now. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, thank you once again.